Hey guys, this is Carrie, and this is the answer key for homework number 4. So today was a bit of a silly lesson. Using the base killa calculator, determine the values of each of the following variables. So the whole idea with base killa, right, is there's this idea in math, inverse operations. So if you have addition, the inverse operation of that is subtraction, and these two operations cancel out. If we have something squared, to cancel out the square, we use the square root, and those cancel out. But if we want to solve for the exponent, then the thing that we're trying to cancel is we're trying to cancel the base. So to cancel the base, we discovered a new operation today called base killa, and you do base killa 2, because we want to kill the base of 2 to both sides. So these two operations cancel out, and they give us a equals base killa 2 being done to 11. Now to calculate this, of course, this isn't on your normal TI-83 calculator, so you have to use the calculator that you were sent by email. So it's base killa 2 of 11, I believe. And that's 3.46. So this is actually, a silly word, base killa, but it is real math. So please take it seriously. These two, I think you can figure out based on what we saw from this one. For this one here, we've got some extra stuff that we have to undo first. So because the 9 to the x is grouped here, in order to leave just that, the opposite of multiplying by 7 is divide by 7 on both sides. That gives us 9 to the x power is equal to. And it's a bit funky, but you have to switch back and forth between calculators. So 1701 divided by 7 is 243. And now that we're here, the next step to solve for x is to get rid of the base 9. So you do base killa targeting 9 on both sides. And I'm just going to start to abbreviate that bk9. So that gives us x equals bk9 243. Got to go to our calculator here, clear it, bk9 243, and that gives us 2.5. For this one here, very similar, a little more complicated looking problem. Solve the equation below for all values of x. So here we wanted to isolate x. These are grouped together. This is grouped together. This is grouped together. So the furthest thing from that group is the plus 4. So we need to, or minus 4, so we have to plus 4 on both sides. That gives us 5 times 2 to the x minus 7 is equal to 40. We divide by 5 on both sides to get rid of the multiplication by 5. That gives us 2 to the x minus 7 equals 8. Now here, the x minus 7 is grouped together in the exponent, so we do have to cancel out the base. We do bk2 to cancel out the base killa 2 on both sides. We get x minus 7 is equal to base killa 2 being done to 8. So we go over to the base killa calculator. Base killa 2 being done to 8 gives us 3. So you get x minus 7 is equal to 3. We add 7 on both sides, and we get x is equal to 10. Nice. All right, so let's do a couple more of these. For this one, we've got a word problem. The population of rabbits doubles every year. If the population begins at 25 rabbits, then in what year will the population first exceed 10,000? So the population of rabbits is equal to 25. It doubles every year, so times 2 each year. Since it's each year, we don't have any division here. It's just the teeth power. We want to know when the population is going to be greater than 10,000. So what we'll do is we'll plug 10,000 in for the population. So 10,000 is equal to 25 times 2 to the tth power. And this has the general format of all of the equations that we've been trying to solve today. We've got the variable and the power. We do also have some multiplication though, so we've got to get rid of that first. We divide by 25 on both sides. That gives us 2 to the tth power is equal to 400, I believe. Let's see if that's right. 10,000 divided by 25, 400, great. Now we need to solve for t, so we're going to do base killa on both sides, targeting the base of 2. That leaves us with t equals base kilo 2 being done to 400. So we go over to the base kilo calculator. Base kilo 2 being done to 400. That's 8.64. Now, I think this says rounded. Then in what year? I guess it's a little ambiguous. We'd have to wait 8.64 years. The question could have been better worded, but I think that's satisfactory. So for this one, you're going to figure that out on your own. For these, the challenge here is instead of doing base kilo, we start off with base kilo. So there's a really cool pattern in math, right, that we've seen, which is whenever you want to cancel out addition, you use subtraction. To cancel out subtraction, you use addition. So this is a pair of inverses. Similarly, multiplication and division cancel each other out, so that's another pair. Squaring and square roots cancel each other out. That's another pair. So the pair here is bases and base kilo cancel each other out. So to cancel out base kilo, we need to use the proper base. So we do a base of 6 raised to each side. Base 6 and base kilo cancel out, giving us x is equal to a base of 6 raised to the second power. X is equal to 6 squared, which is 36. Here, there's an extra 2. We start by dividing by 2 on both sides. We get base kilo 5 of x is equal to 4. We do base of 5 to each side because bases and base kilo cancel out. That gives us x is equal to 5 to the 4th power. X is equal to 625. Here, for problem 7, this one's a fun one. It looks really complicated, but if we're just a little careful with things, it turns out okay. Here we need to get rid of the base kilo, so we do a base because bases and base kilos are opposites. So base 3 on both sides. That gives us x squared minus 6x plus 14 is equal to 3 squared, which is 9. This is actually an equation we know how to solve, right? With a mix of x squared and x, we're expecting 2 solutions using the fundamental theorem of algebra. And we also have a handful of methods that might work to solve this. So one of them is factoring. So let's set this equal to 0 so we can factor it. We factor it, we get x minus 2 times x minus 3 because those numbers sum. Whoa, we do not get this. That's a trap answer. We get x minus 5 and x minus 1 because those numbers sum to negative 6 and multiply to positive 5, which means that x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 1. Okay, so we are good to go. We've got our 2 solutions. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll learn more about this mystery operation, base kilo, in class tomorrow. Bye.